Hey everybody, Shay here for another blind Let's Play of GreedFall. Here we have Alakai, Disarday, we have Siora in the background, and we have Afra. And of course I'm speaking on top of, well, is it blind? I mean, yes, well, it was a blind experience when I had it, but I'm doing commentary on top of the video because I ended up losing the audio, as you would have learned already by the last two episodes. So I'm just going to jump right into it because I kind of forget where, I forget everything I talked about for the most part. So I'm going to wait for visual cues about things. I believe at this point I'm talking about having replaced Afra's all of her gear with the, in this particular case, the gauntlets aren't the Asili, but the rest is Asili. These Cardinal gauntlets were better than the Asili gauntlets, and I kept them in. They're also unique, and I figured they just look nicer. I guess. In any case, I think she looks really good in this Asili gear. Even the hat there, the turban, I think it's great. The black is matching across the gloves, I guess, were, they kind of clash. Maybe the Asili gloves were actually also black fabric or brown fabric. I forget why I didn't get them. But I didn't feel like it was worth, I think maybe these ones were not significantly better, but better enough where I was like, nah, visually I don't need it. It matches enough. So now I do think I was looking at some Alakai stuff at the beginning, and of course I can't rewind it now to find out what that was. Might have been talking about a sword or a gun upgrade is what might have happened. And I believe again, I'm taking some guesses until I sort of get till this episode kicks off and I find out where I'm at. But I'm looking for the facility. Pretty sure yeah, down there in the corner. Now, when I saw the scaffolding, I thought, oh wait, is this gonna be like an Assassin's Creed style moment? Like we've got to infiltrate it, but not by the gates, because we did run into the gates in the last episode, I think, and they pushed me back. I didn't know where I was, though. I kind of got lost in town, but that is exactly where we have to go. And what did I could swear I don't go through them, obviously. I wonder if that would have like provoked a fight, to be honest. It says infiltrate, so I figured we had to stealth through, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I looked for scaffolding. I saw it on the other side, and then I just need to see it again here. Some sort of like, yeah, climbing mechanism. Now I wonder if the other scaffolding was also vital. Like I could have maybe jumped on, jumped over the wall using the other scaffolding. I don't know. It was much further away though. This at least gets us right in through the front here. Is it? Does it look like it's over there on that other corner? I don't know. This seemed straightforward enough. Maybe I'll see it from... Yeah, does that look like the scaffolding on the other side? Might have been where it connected in. We'd come in through the back. Seems reasonable. Why wouldn't it be? So right here, I don't know if I talked about it in the earlier episodes. There was a point there where I didn't even realize that they were like stealth potions. Like haze potions were... increase your chances to hide her. I don't know why that took me so long, but in any case, I had them. I made 10 greater haste potions. That's probably what I'm talking about at this point. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can given the predicament here of losing 5 hours worth of content. Oh my god. Will I ever do it again? I hope not. I hope not. Now I got this this here. Maybe I'll do it. I got this stupid thing that you're seeing in my face cam right now. While I'm stealthing, I got the haze potion on. I'm gonna get around. Of course, I'm gonna do this. Anyways, this thing right here, I guess I shifted my elbow or something, and I knocked it right into the button that mutes the mic manually. So it wasn't even like a strange digital mess up that I did. Is that
prison hidden from the sun to better torture my people.
There must be other guards. Be careful.
I took a long time stealthing through this because I was determined to infiltrate, to stay true to the infiltration. I didn't expect these folks to be dead. But anyways, so I bumped this friggin' depopper, I guess they're called. Because the arm is kind of the contraption setup, I kind of busted it at some point during the move. So it's kind of like sometimes it gets wobbly and stuff. And, well, bit me in the ass. I bumped into it just enough for it to hit the button for the mute. And the ring of the circle of the depopper covered the button just enough where I didn't see the red glow.
How?
That means on.
They've been reduced to burning the bodies.
Yeah. Oh, this was dark as hell.
So many of us must have died here.
Well, I don't think they explicitly say. Did they just say the pit thing? They're basically they're digging up the pit to basically make a mass grave. That's how have we don't see it, but have theoretically been killed to this point. So like this is a significantly dark operation. I just looked to the right there. I don't think I went down there. I don't know what that is. Anyways, you get the point of the story. I didn't see the red light for 5 freaking hours. You know what's worse in the story? I know I'm not talking about this stuff here. Like, I thought it was... Oh, I do have to read this. I do not know which one of you oafs broke the mechanism that leads to the tunnels, but the cost of replacement will be taken from his pay. The doctor was furious. He had to order replacement parts, and even though he probably has received it by now, I hope that once it is replaced, you will be more careful. These mechanisms are something rather. I do recall I had a extra gear. I believe I made a gear. Or I picked one up really early on in the game in the mines. Oh, damn. Wait, was that not a... Wait, that's a guard. How did I not get caught there? Holy crap. Was it... Pretty sure... No, that was a guard. I don't know how that happened. That's absurd to me. Like, we just slipped behind them. That's crazy. I don't know what I was saying. Already, see, I've already derailed myself. Yeah, so at this point, oh my god, I do it again. Just straight face, and I was like, well, whatever. Ah! Okay, so I do go down here. I just forgot how I got around. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was debating the, I was talking about the gear before. I just made one of everything I could in the quest items, because I figured I could, so I wouldn't, and then I had double, so... I might have cut around some of this. I don't know. We'll see. If I see a cut, I'll bring it up. But I remember going back and forth a lot, just trying to kind of get my bearings around this place to see how much I could get around. Looking for more walls like that with paint on it that I could jump around and get around. Yeah. So right here, I couldn't trigger them for some reason. There we go.
You're not one of them. Please, get us out of here.
Oh, this blew my mind.
What are you doing?
I mean, we kind of...
These scientists captured and abused us. They performed experiments.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked here. I did not anticipate seeing knots here.
I heard them say that they wanted to find out how we are immune to the Malachor. None of it makes any sense. Please, get us out of here.
I'll find a way to open this cage.
I want the one who did this.
I wish I had Vasco here, but of course...
Let's hold this good doctor to account.
I need Afra here. Siora, I was bringing Siora because of the natives. I didn't anticipate the knots. So I wonder what would have happened if you brought Vasco there. What he might have said, and, you know. I was mixing up memories there. I was about to make a comment. I'm like, no, I don't think we knew. Up to this point, we didn't know knots were also included in the people getting taken by the Bridge Alliance, by this sect. You know, it's... I believe we only perceived it to have been natives until we get this reveal here, which is super significant from a political standpoint. Like, this is even crazy from the Bertram, was that his name? Perspective, like the governor, right? It's, dude, like, he was already ignorant to these things happening. He approved of all these things, like these experiments and stuff like that, but the degree in which he didn't know what was actually happening at this facility by this doctor, or maybe he knew, but it was like a hush hush, like, you don't tell me I don't know, and I don't have to say I do. So a bit of me thinks, did I compromise something? I don't think so. I think I bailed just enough, just fast enough, and I thought her light might have been them. I bailed. Yeah, I think this is a bad idea. I don't think I did this. In any case, but see this whole area here, I feel kind of like I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll talk about it when we get there. Just keep that part in mind, what you just saw with the map there. Yeah, so politically speaking, the idea that he was so daft about everything that's going on, or that he's hiding it, threw me off because I don't like anything about what's going on here, and I mean every faction had something that was going on behind the scenes, so keeping the patterns alive, it's kind of the way to sort of set this up, and then of course you help them purge it, and then you get the reputation for it, and that's a way for you to get in good standing, is you clean up the factions that they should be doing themselves, but you contribute to it from a political standpoint. Yeah. Still, it would have been hugely damaging. Still could be. I mean, if they weren't on our side, and we said, hey, you're screwing the Nods as well, you know?
Under your feet. I thought I was losing my mind in this cage.
I must release the other prisoners. You'll be out
and
soon.
Still might. I mean, I don't know. I'm only a few more hours ahead of this that I gotta do this too. I gotta do commentary on. But can you imagine, like, if the Knots didn't know this was how could they not know that this was happening? I wonder if I'm missing context at this point, or I've forgotten. Because, like, Knots would start going missing. Like, where are these Knots ending up? And then you unveil, hey, it was the Bridge Alliance. That's bad. It's bad news bears for the Bridge Alliance. Because the Knots could just say,
now that they are
all right,
free,
you're
we
never
must
getting
help
on our
the
ships
prisoners
again.
escape this place.
Screwed.
If they leave through the city, Hikmet guards will arrest them.
So we have to find another way to get them out.
And even as I said that, I was like, wait, I have a mild memory that either something like that happened in a future quest, or we already did a quest like that, where it basically came down to the Knots. How do I forget this already? Giving people a... oh, that might be a future episode. It might be tied to this. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. You know what's happening at this point? Is I was maybe... Well, I can tell you exactly. I was 14, 15. I was 15 episodes ahead of my backlog that I had edited before I started pushing ahead, because I thought I was reaching endgame. And then all of these extra things started opening up, like the Ashra, the Afra, the Bridge Alliance quests. I knew they had to be there, but I just didn't anticipate I didn't expect the Father Petrus quest to line up. The Kurt one that's incoming, I didn't expect it to to happen. And so then I was like, oh my god, push, and that this weekend I got an extra 10 hours of gaming done on top of already 5. So I was 15 episodes ahead. These last 5, this happened too. But honestly, had this not happened, I likely would have found time in the evening during this week instead of doing these things. I would have chipped away to get, because I feel like I'm absolutely an end game, but I don't know how far away I am, so I would have kept pushing. Because, yeah. So anyway, so I got too far ahead. So I guess part of, like, the benefit of what happened here, at this point, I think I started cutting around, because I come down here. Hopefully I'll get back to that conversation. I get here, but I'm like, oh, that might be the thing that needs the gear. Maybe we open the thing. I probably have the gear, but I don't want to fight. I was still rejecting the idea of needing to fight, and I saw a wall back there with paint on it. And I wanted to validate if I could get to it. I'm trying to determine, like, what's considered an exit point to get these folks out of here. And I just realized, looking at this map now, I can see one, like, at the north of that map. I could have just walked backwards. I think I could have just walked back. Oh, no, because the comment was, if you go by the gates, you'll get attacked by those guards. They all get killed or something. So maybe that's like, you could have done that, but then maybe you lose to some degree. Anyways, I talk about this quite a bit, but I do cut around it because it's a lot of crawling around. Ironically, I know how that turns out. So it's kind of like, that's why I'm just going to cut around this silliness. What was I saying? The good thing about this happening is that it's forcing me to basically power edit through the prior 10 episodes. So from 28 to 36, I've been power editing wherever I could, just like chipping away, like, you know, a couple minutes at a time on my breaks in the evening, doing the coffee in the morning, doing like, and there's a little bits, you know, because it's a lot of stuff. But I'm like, I cannot, at this point, I'm doing this commentary on these episodes. I'm editing the other ones, you know, and now my timelines are all screwed up. Like, and I'm watching a Let's Play. And so I'm getting mixed. I don't know when things happen. My continuity is all out of whack, you know, for this commentary. And So there's bad and good. The bad of it is that my continuity's messed up, and I'm having trouble now even commenting on this episode and likely on the next two. Yeah, see, so I can't find a way to get to that one section where I saw the paint. So I might be missing something here that someone else saw, but I can't. See, I was trying. Oh, and then that's right. And then I saw this broken thing here. I'm like, oh, that was probably faulty. But see how there's like a section there in the wall. I'm like, was there like I could have crawled somewhere and then maybe an explosion, break up the wall? I don't know. I don't know, but I didn't see it. So I decided, screw it. There was a store right here we had to get through. I also didn't find a way to get through it, and so I don't. And I'm like, oh, let's just see if something fails, or screw it. I'm just gonna push forward. Yeah. Did I end up finishing my thoughts there? The bad news is I'm disrupted. Oh, this I wish I didn't. I wish I'd done this better. I wish I hadn't screwed this up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I could have done it, but I wish I hadn't screwed that up. Or like a haste potion and then come in. No, I don't think this penalized me. Like, I didn't see anything happen from it. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. Oh, because how could I have gotten into this room, though? Maybe? So maybe you had to fight these ones. You had no choice.
Who are you? You have no right to be here.
I have come to free your prisoners and put an end to all the horrors that take place here.
But I wonder if it would have made a difference if I snuck to the store and got in. I knew this would happen
eventually. This all went too far.
Maybe she's...
Dr. Asili, he lost his mind a long time ago. But what are you going to do with us?
Arrest you. Then I expect you will be sentenced.
To death.
No, please. We only followed the doctor's orders. We tried to stop him, but he is the director of the lab.
You could have reported it to the governor, or left this place.
He threatened to destroy our lives. We could not...
Not if you...
Please, don't lock us up.
Got him arrested fast, you know, and then...
What will you do once you're free?
We will try to redeem ourselves.
Get sentenced.
And resume our work at the governor's laboratory. That's where we worked before joining Dr. Asili's team.
If your conscience allows you to resume your activities as if nothing has happened, you may go.
I'm eternally grateful, Your Excellency.
Yeah, this is cool. So we got a key there. Yeah, I would have eventually had to cross this. I'd have to go up the stairs, so... Oh, hold on. Yeah, hold on. I see it right there. What the hell is this? Is this it? So that's where I was like, okay, hold on. Either we haven't fought this thing, or this is one of the pheasants that has been mutated. Because the only bird, well, there's that other bird-like thing that we fought in the arena, but that messed me up. I was talking about Island of Dr. Moreau. That sort of getting me talking about that. Where like this guy, man, like
these poor people lost their lives only a few hours ago. They could not survive this mutilation.
And they were steered.
Yeah, and then they talk about mutilation. I'm like,
they were cut up like pieces of meat. May the volcano engulf those who did this.
It's like, is he like? A part of me was like, oh my god, is he stitching things together? Is he making? Literally, is he like going Dr. Frankenstein here, or you know, Dr. Moreau? But I like that body on the table, you know. It was all very sketch. These documents contain hundreds of short but precise notes that describe without any emotion the torture and experiments inflicted upon the natives and not captives. A few pages are even illustrated with sketches indicating which body parts were amputated on some of the living subjects to test their resistance, and sectional drawings of the dissected parts of other subjects. Like, again.
This note carefully describes the sequence of the experiments.
This is insane.
There are even sketches. It's hard not to feel sick. This is proof of all the horrors committed here.
This game hasn't had a lot of like that horrific angle, you know? But this one for sure. They could have made this darker from maybe like the lighting. They could have changed the lighting a little bit, made it a little darker, taken out some of these torches. music's okay, but it could have been a little shadier, a little darker. Could have been a bit more. It could have been sketch, like this whole area.
Afra? What a surprise to see you here. You finally came to your senses.
Master, it's not...
Who is this person?
I am the legate of the merchant congregation, and I'm here to put an end to your crimes.
My crimes? What are you talking about? My work was for the good of humanity. Don't tell me you're crying over some savages. The survival of our species requires sacrifice.
So research motives.
What did you hope to find from all these experiments?
Since the Malachor never reached this island, I wanted to check if these savages were sensitive to it. And I discovered that they were naturally resistant. Do you realize the implications of this discovery? So I tried to isolate this resistance to develop a cure in order to send it to the people on the continent. But I doubt that you will be able to understand the subtlety of such an approach.
This man is a cold-blooded reptile. My brothers and sisters were no more than ants to him.
You are a very beautiful specimen. When I think of the power flowing through your veins. Come on, Afra, my dear student. Will you let these narrow-minded inquisitors decide my fate? Are you not also devoted to science and truth?
Science and truth do not excuse your lack of humanity. I'm ashamed of having been taught by you, and that I didn't warn Burin that you'd gone mad. If I had, we could have prevented all of this.
You disappoint me so much, Afra. A second time. When I think what I wasted trying to teach you science.
We learned everything we wanted to know. This lab will close, and you will answer for everything you've done.
You think so? Guards, capture these people!
Wrong answer. Bing. Bing. Boom. You know the drill.
Stop! Think of my knowledge. All that I have accomplished. That can never disappear.
This is me. Because the fights have just...
You will answer for your crimes in court.
But I'll be out soon.
So this decision
my
did take
colleagues
me
will
as long as
understand
that
the
last one.
importance of my work.
We shall see about
The Bridge
that.
Alliance spy. This is like, no, let's take this all the way to the top. I came in here fueled and angry because in my head I was like, no, this would look horrible if we didn't get alignment from the governor. Like to clean this up. This would have compromised him greatly. I did a good job of having the younger governor of New Serene and his cousin take the potion you sent me. I was very cautious as ordered. No one else touched it. However, I must admit that I found your request slightly unusual and dangerous. We are allies of the congregation. I am afraid they may not approve of our implication in what could be perceived as a poisoning. I hope that in the future you will perform this kind of mission by yourself rather than risking the lives of your colleagues. From another doctor. So we don't know who that doctor is at this point.
I can't believe it.
But
Constantine's Malachor was caused by a silly. The potion we were made to drink when we landed on the island was
crazy.
contaminated. How dare he do such a thing?
fucking
And
bird
why?
people. And there's one in the court. So maybe still some shenanigans going on there. So we have an Asili blunderbuss here, and it is better, especially since I could upgrade it. It's a unique weapon, so now we could use it, but I got way too used to the power is you know, okay. My freaking pistol is so much better though. But no, we could increase the damage. We could, yeah. Anyways, so we have. Let me see if do I click back to the pistol. 70 armor damage. I don't know, but this is going to be for Afra, not for me. I think I was comparing the wrong gun, so it was throwing me off. And I thought I was on Afra. So that wasn't my bad. So we'll quickly fix that. My bad. Do I click on here? Let's see. Yeah, this gun. And it's a rate of 3. I could fire it 3 times. How is a pistol not better than a blunderbuss? I think... Oh, that's what I did right there. Just reminded myself. The elemental damage basically doubles the physical damage. It would go on top of physical. Now, again, if the creature is, not again, but obviously if the creature was resistant against elemental, then they would be resistant against that. But the balance there would be that some things are vulnerable against elemental, and so they'd get even more damage from the blunderbuss, from the rifle, having the elemental damage as that stack. So you give and take, and it was better than Afra's rifle, as it was. And then we can make it, you know, we can increase the armor damage, so it's good stuff. Okay, now I go back to what the goal was, which was to try to get around, to get to the entrance to help these prisoners flee. And I believe at that point I'm like, I already killed scientists, so who cares at this point. I'll just do 2 of these. Now the armor, see how different, like the difference? Like the armor, okay, well, that dude still had all his armor and still went down. But that,
it's perfect. We just have to
that power barely did anything. It got to the hit points, but the armor must have protected them like enough to, what the hell? Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Trying to... What am I doing here? I don't remember. Did I pick up some armor? Oh, I'm overloaded. I'm overweight. I'm like, I'm impossible. And then I was playing dress up for a bit, just because. This is cool because the red, I do like it, but I refuse to wear a sun robe. This is cool. I like the colors on this one quite a bit. The Master's Captain. I would have considered it. It looks cool. On Alakai, like, quite a bit, but... And here's the cog piece. The
mechanism doesn't work.
I guess if you have crafting here and you had the gear, say I could repair it, but I could repair it with the cog. I could have done... No, I can't do crafting 2. Yes, I can. Because it's crafting 3 if I have Kurt. No, I have crafting 1. I wear the robe, and I have Kurt. That's crafting 3. So I wouldn't have done it, but I had the cog. So the cog could have opened this door, is what I presume would happen there. But for some reason, in any case, I ran up here because I'm like, no, I still need to know what the heck is the point of this. And you know how I saw that hole up from the top? And I was like, but there must be somewhere from there. Okay, I did that thing again where I was sprinting. And because it was a wall you could blow up,
found a way out of
I triggered it.
But be careful. You are weakened and creatures
so I don't know which
roam
one
these
is a better way, but
I will lead
don't think
the
it
way.
matters. But here we are. We're in a cave. That put me... Yeah, it looks like it would have swung. Oh, that would have been the gate right there? So they just say... Oh, I see now. Maybe maybe? How could I have snuck past those guards? They were facing me. Haze potion wouldn't have got me out of that. There's no way. It's like if you could sneak your way to that and then blow it up. But it's like, but you blow something up. So if that didn't alarm the guards, then that's just been broken code. It should have. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's like you can't craft and you don't have the cog. Yeah, but then you'd have to have a science thing. What happens then? You gotta go back? Like, what do you do then? If you couldn't do one of the 3 options. I wonder. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, these chance against that power. The tougher ones survive. I love the stasis potion, man. Vial, bomb. That's the easy. Like, I would say that's the most powerful one because it's area control, and then you just get in there with all your pew-pews and your bombs and whoever else is with you who can do something. And they're not defending themselves, so they go bye-bye. So, whereas if you use one of the elemental ones or poison, like you could be up against a monster that bigger 2.
I need a bit of practice.
Or 3. You go up against one of the monsters that's resistant. You're using more supplies. That's taking more actions. Yeah. Where they are also pinging you. But I've reached a point in this game a long time ago where monsters are not, unless they surprise me, like that one big tank creature that got me 2 hits because I didn't believe it. I got overconfident from all this kind of fighting, where it's like there's no risk whatsoever. They can't get through my armor. The ones that can are the bull one, like the big bastard, big ones. You just shoot him from range. But problem solved. No more surprise kills. I don't lose my companions like at the beginning of the game, you know. Maybe it's because I didn't know how to fight. I don't know. The balance is off the man. But the companions would at least lose, you know. Like they'd go down on occasion. But I don't recall a companion going down in ages. Even when I strand them, like I forget they're out there somewhere still fighting like that. Some lone alpha or something. Yeah, this was just me checking to see the loop around, see if there was anything else I missed. Yeah, even when I forget about them, I go and check on them. They're still up. They're still swinging. And sometimes it's like they're swinging those alpha creatures that would have wrecked me in 2 hits. Maybe not 2 hits. The bulls, I think, might take... Ox, whatever they are. They might take 3 to 4 hits. Like the big one. The big bull, yeah. But those reptile ones, damn, that was definitely like they destroy the armor and the hit points, and then 2 hits done. And that's the poison ones, the ones that can spit, or the area poison lizard ones. Not exactly. They're okay. But see that I spammed the wrong button there, so I overstasis. To see how little damage that element, that poison element, I think that one might have been a poison grenade because they're poison right now. But they're probably resistant to it because they have poison themselves, don't they? But anyways, I think I used a lot of elemental grenade there, and it's like, oh, just so their health came off it. I was like, come on, man. I can spam shoot those 3 shots with my 3-shoot gun, and I'm destroying the armor, and I'm destroying the hit points, which then makes everything else compound on top of that. So I don't think the priority of this game was to get that stuff in check. I don't know why it wouldn't have been, but it really doesn't feel like it was a priority of the game. I think they put, I mean, the priority is the friggin' nodular matrix of all of this, of all the little things that can impact everything else.
There you are. You're free.
You have saved our lives. How can we thank you?
We will never forget what you have done for us on Almenawi.
Yes, we will always be grateful.
We are not very far from the Hikmet outpost. You will have to be careful.
I know how to reach the port without being seen.
Perfect. As for you, you should take refuge in Vikshadir. You will be safe there, but you need to avoid the Alliance patrols.
We'll get there. Qua awalen segven.
And now, yeah, like, here we go. Another grill. What is this, round 3 of grilling? Governor Burham. Like, there's no reason you come out of this. I forget what I did. I cut around a bunch there because this episode was super long. It still went over the hour, but this was super long. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm looking at my original head. Silent, like, doing silent ranting. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I was pissed. I came at this pissed, that's all.
Your Excellency.
Lady de Sade, and to what do I owe this honor?
Drop the bomb. Drop it, Alakai, drop it.
I have been to Asili's laboratory.
I'm so disappointed in you, Governor.
And what I discovered was abominable. Hundreds of poor souls tortured. Victims of horrifying experiments. There were so many dead that a pit had been dug to burn the bodies.
I wish that was more visual.
How horrifying.
That would have left an impact.
I cannot believe it.
The natives were not the only
so
victims
got a reputation
of these
that
crimes.
That threw me off.
There were also a number of Nords.
But this right here. It's like,
pardon me for doubting you, but do you have proof?
Yeah,
of
do you know
what
how much
say?
shit you're in right
and
now,
have
dude?
you brought Dr. Asili to me so he may answer these accusations?
Yes, we captured him.
Really? Very well. I will ensure that he is judged as quickly as possible. What was done with the prisoners that were being held in the laboratory?
They were freed. The Danae ex-Regau are satisfied and should call off their attack.
What a relief. Finally, some good news.
Like, maybe, are you just
How can I repay you?
By allowing me to take part in the trial proceedings. What I saw merits justice, and I fear that the accused will find a great many defenders amongst his fellow savants.
It is a rather novel request, but granted. I shall inform the prosecutor. Let us remember that the madness of a man should not cast a shadow upon the greater sum of his work. His research is perhaps our only chance of discovering a remedy. Would you like to speak with me about any other subjects?
So...
Can you tell me anything about Dr. Asili?
Asili is a man of remarkable knowledge. One of our most brilliant sages.
You already told me that, Your Excellency.
He is one of those rare men who master alchemy, mathematics, and naturalism with equal assiduity. Anatomy has no secrets for him, and medicine is his passion. Do you realize that it was he who perfected the inoculation technique?
Inoculation? What is that?
A novel treatment that allows us to fabricate immunity to sickness, such as the pox. If any man can find a remedy for the Malachor, it would be him.
I have to go. Look forward to seeing you again.
Farewell, my lady.
How I don't... Did I already know that I feel like I talked to him about... By the way, he also poisoned us. Like, that could be a massive crime. Did that happen last episode? The continuity, I'm telling you, is completely wrecked. But I'm like, what would have triggered that? Because I just read the note this episode. And I felt like I only discovered that detail this episode. So I don't know what memory I have in my head. But maybe it happens. Maybe I had to talk to him twice. It was part of a separate pattern I had to trigger. Maybe? I don't know. We'll find out. So we're going to the lawyer. I thought this was kind of interesting. Take on
Hello.
it.
To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
Desarde. I'm the legate of the merchant
congregation. You still have to run
congregation.
around and kind of get invested in the story
to pay you a visit.
behind all of this.
Oh, it is you who arrested
Uncover
Dr.
some more
Asili
details.
and must help me prepare the trial.
Exactly.
Excellent. We will have lots to do
See
if
if
we
there was
want
some
the
bias
doctor to
going
pay for
on.
his crimes.
Get uncover.
The accused has a lot of support. Any evidence and testimonies you can gather will be useful.
We'll have no problem gathering witnesses. His
So
laboratory
let me see if I
cells
can
were full of
inspect
them.
like where.
We will call them to the witness box, of course.
What I could have
But
missed.
be aware
you know?
that if the victims are natives, their words
that-
will unfortunately not carry much weight here.
There were also some noughts. Perhaps I can also
That part
convince some
was
of
like,
the doctor's
yeah, but
colleagues
what does that
to
mean?
talk.
'Cause
Their testimony will
I
be
want them
crucial.
to talk because
The word of other scholars is likely to be the only thing
But
that
that
condemns
sounded
him.
like an interesting
that plus any
variable
material evidence you
that
can
could
gather.
compromise things.
I picked up a strange powder in the laboratory. A substance that
I
I've not
suppose I
been
could have
able to
missed that.
identify.
You know?
You should show it to an alchemist. We need to know what it is to be able to use it.
These documents describe Dr. Asili's work, as well as the horrible
missed that.
experiments he was
I don't know why
performing.
you'd miss that. Big
Perfect.
glowing yellow
I will read them in detail.
beams.
We will no doubt find something to support my prosecution.
I have found a letter proving that Dr. Asili
Oh.
voluntarily transmitted
This
the
one.
Malachor
This
to my
bomb right
cousin,
here.
Constantin d'Orsay. I would like to
Damn.
add that I too was a victim of
Damn.
this poisoning.
Did the accused try
you
to take the
imagine?
life of the governor of New Serene?
Okay, that's what I was
This
remembering.
is an extremely serious
I remember
crime.
this.
Indeed. He saw my cousin and me as the ideal control group to prove his theories. And no humanitarian or diplomatic consideration could put a stop to his ambition.
This letter alone
Yeah.
is crucial
Look
proof.
at that.
I will put it on our file.
Do we have any chance of winning?
Are you kidding?
Yes, I am rather
Are you
confident.
nuts?
You have provided
I love that they'll
overwhelming
just tell,
evidence.
like,
But
yeah.
if we had witnesses, we would have an even bigger chance of winning.
I will return to you soon.
Like the
The Norts should be at the port, and the islanders had to take refuge in Vigshardir. As for the scientists, they said they would go back to the governor's laboratory. I should give this powder to someone who can tell me what it is.
So then there's that. Had we not kept the apprentice around, or whatever she was, we wouldn't have had her
Desarde, I'm happy to see
to
you.
push this further.
Can I do
either.
anything for you?
I would like you to tell me about Asili.
I was expecting you to come and see me about this.
I mean, you were with me the entire
What
time.
would you like to know?
Afra. Very strange. Okay, ask about the experiments.
Were you aware of Dr. Asili's experiments?
In part, yes. That's why I chose not to be his student
So
any
she
longer.
was aware of it. in
Why
part.
not
How
say
was her?
anything?
Because I never thought he would go so
Other
far.
people, you know.
Over time, he became more and
Well,
more
they were,
cruel. I found
but
his
they
approach brutal.
Stuck around.
As if by meeting the natives it deprived him of all humanity. He spoke of them as test subjects, never as people. But there was a time when he was the greatest doctor and scientist in the Alliance.
Specimens.
And I clung on to that memory.
You do know that you were captured thanks to him.
Yes, but I thought the natives wanted to trade us merely as prisoners of war. I was blind. And stupid. I regret it terribly.
Do you think, as your master does, that science justifies all sacrifices?
No. I may have believed that at one time, without of course ever imagining that we'd resort to such cruel treatment. But Dunkus, you and Siora have opened my eyes to the limits of science. To worship it as we do in the Alliance does not
That's
make
cool
us
progress.
better than Taleme.
Cool development. Felt like appropriate. I don't know if like if
In your opinion, were the horrors practiced in this laboratory necessary for his research?
No, even if he was convinced of it. General interest outweighs the suffering of a few individuals.
Hundreds.
He wanted results quickly.
Hundreds.
To the point of neglecting slower, more humane methods. I hope we'll succeed in ensuring these experiments never happen again.
These just keep opening up here.
Would you be willing to testify against Dr. Asili during his trial?
Of course. I was going to talk to you about
So maybe
that.
if you didn't have
I
her-
want to convince my colleagues that we
maybe
must
her-
give up these kind of methods. And even if it costs me dearly, I want my master to pay for what
Wonder
he
if a
did.
reputation matter there.
Anything else?
At this point, I don't see how you could have, how it could have gone to suspicious by this point, though. I feel like it just would have gotten to this point.
Tell me about your studies with Dr.
Part of
Asili.
the same sort of
He was not
progress
always
in the
mad,
plot.
you know. He was a renowned doctor back in Al-Sad. His unusual methods saved many lives, and I was very proud to be amongst his students. He taught me a lot. He was a great teacher. He was strict and severe, but he always pushed us to do our best. It's only when I joined him on the island that I understood that there was something wrong. He seemed changed and completely obsessed with the Malachor. You know it killed his wife and 2 children. He was so shaken by that, he no longer showed any restraint in his research. Such a waste. For the natives he massacred as well as for science.
What she has learned thanks to Dunkus.
I'm under the impression that you've not learned as many things as you wanted by observing Dunkus's clan.
That's true. I hope to discover the physical or alchemical mechanism behind their metamorphoses. But instead, I don't know. I think I now understand the bond that unites their people to this land. The links that connects them and the power of their culture. It's unexpected. I wonder if this couldn't become another subject for
Right.
study. The study of people, their customs and beliefs. If I said that in Al-Sad, people would think I've gone mad, but here, everything is possible, right? Learning about the natives would allow us to stop being afraid of them, and to see them like fellow
Imagine
humans
that.
at last.
Yeah, I think we got everything here.
I must leave you.
Yeah, I suppose you might be able to do things that could compromise her
Do you need
reputation,
something?
and then some of that
I've
would
never
have been
heard you
different.
talk about your father.
He was...
What?
He was killed. My mother. Anything else?
Still wondering
I
about
must
that.
leave you. See you later.
Just won't get off that same topic, you know. So now we do some running around. Mostly I want the XP. But no, but yeah. I wonder how many variations there are for how this could resolve, you know. I feel like it's binary to a certain degree, maybe. I don't know. I mean, either he gets freed or he doesn't. But I wonder if there's different things at stake. It really does seem like that, finding that one note with the poisoning tied to you and your cousin probably outweighed the other things you found. might have been enough. That's the... Conceptually, that's what it sounded like anyways. Also, something like this, right? Like, if you don't take these dudes out fast enough... Well, she doesn't have a health bar over there. I just noticed that now. But I'm wondering if it's time-based. If it don't take too long, she could die. And if she does die, then you don't have her.
Is everything all right?
Once again, thanks to you. These people wanted to kill me.
They certainly wanted to prevent you from testifying at the doctor's trial.
The doctor will be judged. I suppose you'd like me to testify about how
I wonder
suffered.
if we could lose them.
Indeed. If you do not fear another attempt on your life by these men.
Don't worry. I won't put up with intimidation.
Not blood.
From now on, my people will watch over me until I can testify. And I intend to witness the execution of our torturer.
Like, this honestly
you can count on me.
What a
Thank
mess.
You. Your word will be crucial.
It's probably the worst
the
one
trial.
out of all of them. I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting some details, but this one feels like the absolute worst political damage that could have happened from one of the side arcs that help you get the reputation with the factions through the progress on Tier 4D. This is the most damaging that I can see. Okay, the Order Luminous is pretty shitty. They're pretty bad. They're pretty bad, but it's almost restricted to the natives. You know, whereas this one... Whew. Oh, again, one of those... These... And they scare me because I'm not prepared for it. I'm just sprinting all the time. But I did get here, and I'm like... And you'll see, I'm like... What the hell was the point of this? Am I missing something? Like... So what? So I broke into this wall? Great, now I've, like, caused... I've caused taxpayer dollars I have to pay for that damage, you know? Like, what was the point of that damage? I don't understand. I really don't. But I get penalized for it. But I also... So this is a reuse of the asset, which we've gotten used to. But it's, yeah.
Hello. I see that you are back to work.
Indeed. We were not bothered thanks to you. And here I can make myself useful. But I don't think you're here to ask about me. What can I do for you?
Even at the cost of... Well, okay, so ask her... Okay, so... Tons of new things here.
What is your purpose here?
I help Dr. Unur to understand the research of my former master. He's the one who became his successor.
I do hope that he doesn't use the same methods.
Of course not.
What about your other colleagues? What's become of them?
Sure.
They felt guilty. They stopped their experiments and returned to Al-Sad.
What do the other scholars think of Dr. Asili, now that his actions have been revealed for all to see?
Most still admire him greatly. He was the greatest amongst us, you know? They didn't witness what was happening in the lab, and they have little interest in the natives. For them, the main problem is political, given that the war against the rebels cost us dearly. Until they understand the horrors that happened there, they will not have any moral issues.
Are you prepared to testify?
I think I didn't want to lose
Dr.
the option
Asili?
for testify if I asked to put the powder.
I kept silent for far too long about what was going on in that lab.
And I wanted to see how she actually
I know
thought.
what we did
why
was
would she
wrong,
reject it?
and I do not want it to happen
to
again.
hear say
Thank you. Your story could change the outcome of this
So
trial.
far, it's all positive, man.
I discovered this strange powder in one of the laboratory's chests. Do you know what it is?
I did see the doctor using it once or twice, but I don't know what it is. But I can study it for you if you want. I have the tools that will allow me to do so here.
Part of me wonders, like, what could she have said no there?
So,
what would have caused
what
that?
is
I don't
it?
know.
It is a quintessence of black
But I
blood.
wonder.
Probably created using the blood of numerous patients. The doctor managed to harness the very concept of the Malachor in this powder. A single pinch ingested by someone would be enough for them to be afflicted by the disease. With the quantities that you brought me, hundreds of people could be contaminated. It's terrifying.
We were test subjects.
I cannot believe Asili would do such a thing. Here, these are my notes. I wrote down all the details of my experiments, as well as my conclusions.
Oh, maybe you...
Thank you. I will relay them to the prosecutor.
We'll see. powder. Testify.
I must
yeah,
leave
done.
you. What she saw working alongside Asili obviously upset her. She will make an excellent witness.
I wonder if that could have been a no. Yeah. So Vic Shadir, I could have avoided that one. Everything was telling me that it wouldn't have helped me to get them to testify, but from an RP perspective, I couldn't. I didn't know how it might have impacted anything, but I couldn't allow it. I could not allow it. So of course I eventually have to work my way back. It's of course just a teleport away, so it's not too much time. Oh, these guys, all these lazy bastards doing nothing. Old research from O'Nur. This file contains the notes of Dr. O'Nur. From what you understand of his sketches and notes, he sought to discover how patients were contaminated and focused on the water and patients the patients might have ingested. On the file, I just got that now. On the file, you can see words which were obviously written now by something, but the water that they ingested, so something tied to water coming from somewhere. I didn't catch it the first time. That threw me off. I screwed up the reading. Awkward. You do have the face mask, the bird face mask there. That's the kind of visual connection point to the beginning of when we get to the island.
Honor. What do you
want? The birds
want?
give us the stuff. So.
What is your role and what is your research
evidence,
topic?
I guess.
I'm in charge of the governor's laboratories.
I mean,
my
these guys
main
are
research
in charge of all
concerns the
potion stuff,
Malachor, of course. Above all, we searched for a way to reduce the suffering of the sick.
What were you looking for?
Now that we have access to my colleague Asili's work, it gives us hope
Also,
of
was he
finding
the other
a
doctor
cure.
from the other note?
So the crimes he committed while conducting his work
yourself
do not
sort of thing,
concern
you know?
you?
He will be judged for that.
Shenanigans.
But it would be a shame for him to have done all this for
Shenanigans.
nothing.
I know what you're doing, but hush hush. And don't tell me in detail
What do you
you're
think
doing,
of
so I
Dr.
don't have to
Asili
tell
now that
anyone.
you've learned
Those
how he
bitches.
conducted his research?
Well, obviously the few excesses he has conceded himself are
Probably
unfortunate.
him.
But he remains the greatest scientist that the Alliance has ever known. His work has had a profound effect on science. It seems quite unfair to me to reduce his life's work just to what he has done lately.
If I understand correctly, you will be one of his defenders.
Naturally. I don't deny that he made a terrible mistake, but he meant well. And
that
he
made me
was
sick.
probably
Like,
acting on behalf
what a
of
piece
our
of work this
helplessness
guy is.
to combat the Malachor.
What a piece of work. Questions of researchers.
Would you agree to speak at the trial? Your influence could be crucial.
Oh, but I already intended to give a statement. His lawyer came to find me.
So you were ready to defend a man who used torture and murder to advance his research?
Indeed, because I think the entire work of a scientist should not be judged on a single mistake. It is obvious that he should not have used such methods, but Asili has never been very political. I doubt he understood the implications of his actions.
So you're saying
What
the
an
only
idiot.
problem in this case is political?
Essentially, yes. The war he nearly caused could have been expensive for our governor and the city. But let's not fool ourselves.
You'd be off this island.
No tears will be shed over
You'd
the
be off
fate
this
of a
island.
few of those bloodthirsty savages.
This one was interesting. Had I brought Vasco, I would have had the 3 there. It made me super consider investing in intuition at this point and just getting it myself because this is significant. These ones always seem to go well in conversation if you could pull off an intuition selection. But then you had, I had Afro with me. And as far as I could
Afra,
tell,
did
every
you have
time a
something to
character
say
gets
to Dr.
involved,
Honor?
you also get an
Thank you,
auto pass.
Desade. I feel it is
Based
my
on what I
duty to
can see.
warn him. You probably know that I
be
was
wrong.
one of Dr.
So
Asili's
don't spoil me.
students.
I'm not done the game yet.
Naturally. It is undoubtedly under his influence that you have developed this remarkable analytical spirit.
Perhaps. But my analytical mind also pushed me to refuse to continue working with him. I saw his madness and cruelty grow deeper, and what we discovered in this laboratory was abominable. We must condemn him, not only so he can pay for this crime, but to free science from these kinds of abject methods.
Very well. You've convinced me. I will now testify for the prosecution. It is true that it's time to turn the page and leave his cruel methods behind.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Honor is an influential scholar. His testimony would convince the judges.
So is that like an auto win? Like if you do nothing else but you get owner on your side, boom. There could be like a couple, you know, evaluation pieces going on here that will spin things around. I still feel like it's very binary though. Now, do I go to the lawyer first or do I bounce?
Desarde, I'm happy
Quick
to
check in here to see if there's anything about owner.
I must leave you.
Alright, so now it's Vic Shadir, or we just push this forward. And I cut around it, that debate, because thankfully I already had it. So it came down to an RP decision. It's just, she's been working on a relationship with the natives. It's kind of as a primary objective, and I wouldn't want to take away that.
You
their
are the
opportunity to
Anolmenawi who
voice.
freed us. We managed to reach Vikshadir.
They told me what you did for them,
And
Renaitse.
to work on a relationship
Well
with her,
done.
you know?
I was able to give them the care they
sense to me.
needed. Some wounds will take time to heal.
I was willing to take the
but
hit.
they are safe thanks to you.
I'm happy to see that they're better.
But you didn't come here for that, did you?
No, I came to ask for your help.
Fuck the
The doctor who captured and tortured you is about to be tried for his crimes. He has a lot of support among his people. He is a respected man despite what he did. If we don't have testimony from some of his victims, he will surely be released.
You'll have our words. We'll go to the Grand City and tell our story.
And the Mad Lion will die for causing so much harm to our people.
May the earth engulf him. You can return to Hikmet. I'll make sure they get there in good health.
Thank you, Tiana Hack, and thank you all. I blame myself for forcing these poor people back to the city where they've suffered so much.
My people are strong and proud. They will not be afraid to speak in front of your judges for justice.
They seem to appreciate being given the opportunity. Yeah. But going into this, it definitely feels like a bit of math going on behind the scenes. I would have been a bit pissed if just bringing them would have compromised me so much that all of the me being poisoned, Constantine. But that wouldn't have been enough.
You have returned, Your Excellency.
That would have
Do
pissed
you
me
have
off.
any news on our matter?
So.
A Nort victim of Dr. Asili agreed to testify at the trial.
Excellent. This kind of testimony will certainly rattle his defense.
The islanders will testify at the trial. Their injuries will surely convince the judges.
Indeed.
Yeah,
But do
see.
bear in mind
So
that
obviously
the
something's
islanders
going
are
on
not
there,
highly
you know?
regarded in
There's
Hikmet.
obviously an impact to the score there, based on the phrasing.
I managed to convince the scientists in the governor's laboratory to speak in our favor.
Excellent.
Right.
These are not direct witnesses, but if they denounce the doctor, we are sure to be heard.
I even got a testimony from one of Dr. Asili's colleagues.
Perfect. That will convince our scientists, and you know how important they are in Hikmet.
Afra, one of Dr. Asili's former students, has agreed to testify.
Excellent. This woman is very respected by the governor. Her statement will carry a lot of weight.
Okay, and then we have, boom.
An alchemist studied the powder that we found in the laboratory. Apparently, it's some kind of concentrate made from the blood of several patients with the Malachor.
Bioweapon. He made a bioweapon.
It seems that less than a pinch
using the
of this
Malachor.
powder is enough to contaminate whoever consumes it.
Could you imagine?
There's enough here to make a small town sick.
A terrifying
Bridge
thought.
Alliance gets access to
I will
a
add the
bioagent that
analysis
could
in this powder
compromise
to
the
the
entire
evidence on record.
Of
You
everyone
have
but the
gathered
natives and the Nots?
overwhelming evidence. The defense will have
Terrible.
a hard time saving the accused. I think we can
But it's
go
like
to
finding,
trial
it's like
with
being the ones that
confidence
get
now.
the first nuke. You know what I mean? Like they'd have. It's weird. It's a crazy dynamic because then they
Will the trial
effectively
begin
have
soon?
all the power.
It seems to be the
by
right
having
time.
that bioweapon.
Excellent investigation work.
Anyways, that the way that
I
she
think
ended
we
that,
have every
it's like
chance of
it was
winning.
a pretty.
Where will the trial be held?
At the palace. I regret to inform you that you will not be able to attend. However, I'm sure the governor will keep you informed of the outcome.
At this point, I thought
of
I
the
was getting
proceedings.
cheesed. I was like, "Are you kidding me? I went through
Madame,
all that work
congratulations.
and
The
I can't even
trial
see
was
like
exemplary.
the cinematic.
Asili's
It's just gonna
madness
wrap
was
up with this."
exposed to the entire world, and you
I
have
was not happy.
demonstrated the horror of his methods.
Show me
Thank
something.
you, Excellency. But all praise should be showered upon Lady de Sade. The
Oh, the
evidence
trials.
she
Never
supplied
mind.
was irrefutable.
Trials are boring.
It was necessary that you
What we
hear
see
the
is the trial.
victims, in order to understand the extremities to which your
still would've been cool,
science has
maybe.
taken you.
Come now.
Yeah, it
One
would.
cannot conclude that
But I get it, I
science
get
was
it.
guilty here.
Not science, but the savants were. It is never right to set aside humanity in the name of the common good. No knowledge justifies killing or torture.
Your words are wise, and I promise to remember them.
You have not always shown
Yes.
yourself a man of
I
impeccable
love
judgment,
this comment.
Excellency.
Made me
We
so
are all,
happy.
from time to time, victim of our own blind enthusiasm, that is true. But this trial has shaken my usual resolve. It may very well change the course of history.
Friendly. Boom. I didn't think this one was convertible, but one adventure path took them all the way to the top. Now, that being said, holding a group at the top like this is tenuous. Like anything can make it slip because it's one wrong move somewhere, you get like a -1, and I think you go from friendly to nice, and it's like, come on, man. Like, I've done so many good things, and you're gonna make this one decision, you know, compromise me. Anyways, so I thought it was all of this would have been erased, like I
Afra,
wouldn't have seen any of it, but we get
Are
this.
you certain that
which
you
I'm
want to attend
happy
this?
for.
I do not want to attend. I must.
There's a closure for Afra.
Dr. Asili, you have been found guilty of all accusations brought against you. In consequence, the Bridge Alliance Tribunal condemns you to death. Do you have any final words?
You treat me like a monster. But how many times have you stayed your own hands? So close to the goal to finally find a remedy, you would have done as I. What do a few lives mean when the future of all humanity hangs in the balance?
Calculus of war, though, right there.
You are nothing more than idiots,
But he's
incompetents, and you, Baron, are the greatest hypocrite of all.
But that's the calculus
You
right
know
there.
that I am right.
Executioner, earn your pay.
You know that I am right.
I wonder what that means. Like, I wonder if that's like a subtle, you know? I don't know. I almost touched. Don't touch the mouse or the keyboard. Don't screw this up. I almost got.
Desarde,
Like,
I'm
rewind it.
happy to
Let's
see
do that
you.
again. No, don't.
Can I do
Don't touch
anything for you?
Okay. Yeah. Just checking. Here. Now, maybe I could have had these conversations after this whole scenario.
Tell me about your studies with Dr.
He was not his unusual. He talked. It's only when I joined him on the. He seemed. He was so shaken.
No, it's
such
okay. It
a
still worked
waste.
out. It still flowed. No matter where I had that.
I must leave you.
Yeah. So there we are. Place cleared out pretty fast. Ow. After that was done. So we have the trial of the water. Ooh, and I just read that note, right? The water that they were drinking. I don't know. Trial of water. And so we have the this stuff right here, exploration and cartography. I mean, I could start going through this. I'm partially contemplating this. I think even right now, I didn't until right now. Like, I saw those 5. I almost rewound to show you what I was talking about. But man, I think they all line up to each of the Guardians. And if I could go back to where the Guardians were and I just comb those areas, I'm near certain that what will happen, it's going to be an area that I couldn't access because I didn't have the skills for it. And as soon as I access it, I'll get the piece or pieces that I'm missing. That's my theory right now. Am I willing to test it? Maybe for 1 or 2, and if it works out, then I'll go, okay, let's do this, and I'll try to completion that piece. Otherwise, I'm going to let it go. But we'll see. Depends how close I get by the end of the game. Again, because I'll count the Guardians and see how many of those existed. Because I think each of those was an explorer trying to track the thing down. And so, yeah. So with that, I'm going to wrap this one up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.